For decades, people around the world have displayed a range of special powers and abilities. These powered beings came together and built superpowered cities to thrive in. My name is Angus, and I'm a journalist for the Daily Deposit. My partner Sal and I interview the citizens of Super City, investigating incidents and exploits, and helping where we can, holding the powerful accountable. Because heroes don't do paperwork. Hello, super citizens, and welcome to Heroes Don't Do Paperwork, the only podcast about events both big and small in Super City. I'm one of your hosts, Angus, joined by Sal.
Hello, Super City. It is your newly road warriored Sal Bedfellow. Happy to be here.
Of course, Sal and I are reporters in Super City. We work for the Daily Deposit. We're actually on our way to see a show. Sal, how are you doing?
I'm doing quite well. As you can see, I've adopted a bit of a new fashion sense.
Yeah.
It's a new aesthetic. I call it khaki road warrior.
Yeah. You've got like it's all khaki, but it is like it's clearly patchwork, different khakis together. Are those football pads?
They are football pads, and you'll notice that I fashioned spikes out of letter openers.
Oh wow, dangerous, cool, sick. Okay, well that's awesome. That's awesome. This is just because you're kind of embracing the new ride, the thrill wagon or whatever we're calling it.
I took your advice to heart. I am going to be using this van for stakeouts to try and find this new vigilante that's operating in Super City. And your first note that my van looked a little sterile, it stood out. I took it to heart. So now I'm leaning into it. I'm leaning into this.
Yeah.
This sort of dystopian van life.
It works.
Yeah. Well, actually, that's the name of it, Dystopian Van Life Core.
and the tiger face paint kind of makes you look like, as listeners know, the muscly tiger that's spray painted on the side of your van.
Exactly.
So you're kind of fully really leaning. You really are leaning into that.
100%.
You just need a sword at this point. That's
cool. If everything works out next week.
Oh, okay. Well, I look forward to it next. I look forward to it next week.
But that's enough about me for the moment. What's going on with you this time? At this moment.
At this moment, well, at this particular moment, I'm riding shotgun with you. In your new ride, you know, the former ride of the Headbangers, now the new Salmobile. I guess what are we calling this thing? Yeah, the new Salmobile. And we're on our way to the Rat King Theater in the Theater District. We're off to the Rat King Theater to check out a show. We got tickets. We were mailed tickets, and they kind of passed them around the office. Who wants to go? And we thought it would be a good opportunity, or at least I thought it would be a good opportunity to write about some of the theater in Super City, a thing we've never really covered before. So we're gonna go check out this show, Sal. And actually, I don't want to tee it up too fast, but we've got an interview after the break. We've got an interview with someone who's heavily involved in the production of the show.
It's going to be very exciting. I have long been a lover of the theater, and I am particularly excited about this show. Now, I don't want to spoil anything about it. I say we let the interview cover the details of the show and all of those fun aspects. But I have long loved theater because of its way that it can create a narrative about the direction society's moving in.
Oh yeah, now, the commentary and stuff like that.
Before we disappeared for 5 years into a different dimension, a lot of theater was dealing with society moving towards a dystopian world.
Yes.
But now we're in a dystopian world, so I'm curious to see what story they'll tell.
It's true. In a horrific world like the one we live in now, what kind of stories do we tell? And honestly, I think that's kind of the angle we should approach this article from. When we do sit down to write this, I it's nice to hear. I kind of assumed you were a theater guy. You seem like you might have gotten into the theater a bit now and then. I myself, I didn't do plays necessarily, but when I was a kid, I did a little bit of like theater sports. Like I did some improv stuff. I didn't really do it. I wasn't very good at stand up.
What's improv?
Oh, I can't. I don't want. You know what? Honestly, Sal, it's you'd hate it because it's made up on the spot. It's not planned. You would truly you. It's not. I don't think it's your thing. There's
If
no.
it's
There's
made
no.
up, how is it acting if it's made up?
An excellent question. Well, I feel like I'm talking. Feel like I'm talking to an uncle at this point. You know, like, yeah. No, it's yeah. So that's kind of, and I was very bad at that, so I stopped doing that and got into podcasting. So that's kind of that's really my extent of theater in Super City. I haven't really seen too many big productions like this. I'm honestly, Sal, I'm most curious how people's powers are going to kind of factor into the show. I think that's a really exciting thing. Obviously,
Of course.
listeners, people who are listening to this show that don't live in Super City, that just live in some kind of, I don't know, they live in some kind of other country. I know,
The
right?
other country district, yes.
Yes, yes. They don't know what they don't know what's going on here. So I do want to inform people a bit about like what's so special about about art here in Super City.
You know, Angus, you really captured the essence of what makes performing arts so great. And earlier I was unclear about what improv was, but
Hmm.
I'm realizing that any method of expressing oneself has value. So
Oh
while
wow.
I don't necessarily understand improv, nor does it seem like I really want to, it seems important. It seems important to you, and
Yeah,
that's all that matters.
it certainly was important to me. You know, it's a lot changes, but yeah, I definitely, you know what, maybe I'll still get out there sometime. Maybe I'll look around and see if that's a thing in Super City. But I appreciate that. I really do. You've got this road warrior, khaki road warrior aesthetic, but you
Thank
are
you.
still very considerate and compassionate. So I really do appreciate that about you, Sal.
I am a road warrior, and therefore I play by my own rules. It just so happens that my rules are far more strict than any currently enforced by Super City Police.
Interesting. All right. Well, okay. Well, how's the new ride going? Like, I mean, we're mostly stuck in traffic now, but we're got to be close, right?
We are almost there. Now, here's the tricky part: is
Hmm.
finding parking.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It should be noted that the Rat King Theater is actually sort of like four stages that just sort of back onto each other, and
Yeah,
they're all
yeah.
kind of entangled.
Yeah, it's a bunch of theater buildings that kind of they were next to each other and they've now fused into one amalgam.
Mhm.
I get you. Yeah, yeah. No, that's fair. Okay, so parking is even harder than a normal theater, which
Of
is
course, but
famously bad parking. Um, okay, okay. Well,
we'll
okay,
figure something out.
yeah, okay. How about this? I'll throw it to another ad for one of the other shows on the Pod Cavern,
Hmm.
and we'll find some spots. We'll find a spot for the car, and when we come back, we'll have seen the show, and we'll be chatting with our guest.
Great.
Okay, all right. Oh, I think that guy's back now.
Oh, he's backing up into us. No,
Oh,
what?
he's
Oh,
back.
stop! Stop! Stop!
Have you ever seen those lists on the internet that's like top 5 sandwich toppings, top 5 movies of the year, top 5 celebrities who have a very punchable face? You know what I'm talking about. The point is, all these lists drive us crazy because we have no idea who made them and how they even narrowed down their top 5 list. That's where my podcast comes in. My name is Tung La, and I am the host of Ranked, top 5 lists of stuff that don't matter. In every episode, with the help of a motley crew of self-proclaimed experts, we debate, battle, and work together, showing you the entire process of how we got there, to create a top 5 list of any and every topic we can think of, like top 5 brunch menu items, top 5 fictional dogs, top 5 90s songs, top 5 Steves? The list goes on, and we will not rest till we rank basically everything. So join us every second Thursday in the Pod Cavern for Ranked, top 5 lists of stuff that don't matter.
Top five, top five, top five.
How do you want to come out of this, Sal?
I'll probably use the doors, and then we'll just go in the lobby here.
Yes, of course. Yeah, yeah. Okay, so we got the lobby here.
Now, did we agree with our guest where we were going to meet them?
No, no. I actually I thought we'd kind of just meet them outside the show. There's a couple people meandering around.
Oh, there's someone flagging us down. They're looking at us, and they're
Okay. Yes. Okay.
Over here.
Oh.
Oh, darlings, it's such a pleasure to have you.
This is definitely our guest. I can already tell. Please welcome to the show, Catherine Abernathy Quill.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. And welcome to my show, as you've just seen.
Thank you. It was very special what we just saw.
Oh, yes. It's something very true and dear to my heart. I believe that, in the words of the Merry Wives of Windsor, there doth not yet shine a sun so bright as the one within the refrigerator.
And it's so brave to make a show that is only lit by refrigerators.
By a refrigerator light.
Yeah.
Yes, our astounding designer came up with that concept. And you know, my favorite part is when they unscrew the bulb, but then they resolve their conflicts and screw it back in it back in again.
Yeah.
If we could just unscrew and rescrew our own lives, could you imagine the feats we'd achieve?
Sometimes I wish I could unscrew my own life, but yeah, absolutely.
Maybe you just need to give yourself more to the theater. If you give yourself more to the arts, you can unscrew yourself. Some say theater screws you, but I say it unscrews.
It unscrews you. That's pretty profound words you've got there. Like that does actually kind of inspire me. So Catherine, you've obviously played a huge part in the show
we just saw. Huge.
Would you mind telling the listeners? I know Sal and I just watched the show, but without giving too much away, we want to tease it out to the audience. We want people to come see this show. Could you tell us a little bit about the show and your involvement in it?
Oh, yes. So the show you saw tonight was, I think this is okay to say without any spoilers. There was tiny finger quotes. I know this is all on air.
Very tiny fingers.
Oh, very tiny finger quotes. As much as I admire your podcasting is not like a true form of theater because it does not gauge the sense of sight. Without sight, theater is pointless unless it's in the dark, like Theater in the Dark, which is our next show this season.
Oh, cool. Wow.
Theater completely in the dark.
Wow.
So like a podcast, but live.
Yes, yeah. Wow.
And completely unscripted. That one is, we call it improv.
Oh, there it is.
World.
There it is.
Yes, so this was a dramatic retelling of the legendary Shakespeare play, Macbeth. Is that okay to say online, like on the airwaves?
You can definitely say it on the airwaves. We are still in your theater, though. So
it only counts if you're on the stage.
Oh, good.
Yes, we're in the lobby now. This is a safe place.
Gotcha. I imagine it must be hard to perform a show called Macbeth without saying the word Macbeth on the stage.
Oh, very difficult. They say the word Macbeth 28 times within the play itself.
But you have very cleverly used a censor beep to get around that.
Yes, the backing up of a truck we used. Yes, so you know that noise when you have a truck backing into a loading bay?
Yes,
of course. Our astounding sound designer took that noise and he recreated it to just jar the senses just a bit each time.
Wow.
It worked. It worked because every time I found my attention starting to drift, and they would say, boop, boop, boop.
Yes.
I was immediately drawn back to the show because I figured, oh no, is there a truck backing up into
Yes.
me? But it was just performers.
And actually, Catherine, you have no way of knowing this. Right before we got into the theater, a truck backed into our car.
Oh no! Was it in the loading area, which is actually the parking area for 3 different of the theaters?
Absolutely, that's exactly where it was.
It's such a mess back there.
Can we? Was that the same sound? Was that the same truck? Basically?
It's the same truck, actually.
Wow!
Yes.
We basically ran into a celebrity.
Yeah,
a celebrity ran into us.
Did you get a signature?
we didn't. We got his insurance though. That's for sure.
Wonderful, excellent. You never.
I'm gonna frame it now.
So Catherine, you've got this. What did you call it? The show is called A Brave Retelling of Macbeth.
A radical retelling of the classic tale of the legendary play of Shakespeare's most famous performance of Macbeth.
Right. Oh, right. Because that is the distinction. There is you're not necessarily going after the play itself. You're trying to recreate the most famous performance of that show.
Yes.
And a lot of things went wrong in that famous performance. People got hurt.
A man died.
Yeah, a man died.
A man died. But they brought him back, so it was fine.
Yeah, so it's fine.
He was one of those superheroes with the power to, like, revivify himself.
Sure. We might have actually had him on the show. What was that guy's name?
Eustace Henge.
Eustace Henge.
Yes, that's him.
Yes.
Oh, fantastic! I'm glad to see he's doing well.
He's doing pretty well.
We
last time
fired
saw
him after that.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yes, we had to let him go from the production.
Yes. That's wild. Wow. So Catherine, I wanted to ask, because I know when you're in theater, when you work in a theater, you're rarely just doing one thing for a show.
Yes.
So I wanted to really nail down, what exactly did you do to kind of get this show on its feet, to performance wise and stuff like that? A lot of the characters were wearing masks and stuff like that. So, like, did you play a part in there? Were you working the fridge light? What were you doing out there?
In the theater, we don't try to brag about ourselves. We try to keep it very low key. And, like, my part was integral. It was integral to the play. So, like, I mean, as much as you want to know, like, the exact details, I find that it's very important that we look at the production as a whole entire experience where every little cog does its part.
The one thing that I definitely recognize you from is you helped Sal and I to our seats.
Oh, yes.
Was that you?
Yes. You recognize me underneath the mask, right?
Yeah. Well,
yes,
it's the voice, really.
Oh, yes. Well, you know what? Theater is all about presentation and reinventing yourself. So, can I be honest? Like,
yes,
of course.
Yeah, please do not like. I don't think anybody in the theater world actually listens to this.
Oh,
so
probably not. No.
Completely fine with letting
the accent dropped.
Yeah, I don't have that accent. You can't get a job in this city without a fucking accent.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is scathing. That's good to know. Wow.
The entire theater district is just fake accents. You go theater to theater. It's one fake accent after another.
Wow.
Interesting. The actors are acting in their real life.
Oh, yeah. You know Wallace Phillips, the lead actor down at the Centrepoint Theater? Yeah. That's a fake Irish accent.
No.
He's Australian.
Really?
Yeah.
But he kept talking about pot of gold and Lucky Charms.
And diddly dee
kind
potatoes.
of offensive.
It was super offensive to some of us. Absolutely. Yeah.
Actually.
Wow.
Yeah.
But wow. Oh, I wouldn't have believed that. Well, Catherine,
Oh, just call me Janet. My name's actually Janet Smith. Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
Janet, this is one of my favorite things about podcasting is getting these moments where people can open up and kind of show their true selves because they don't think anyone's listening.
Oh my God. Oh, sorry. I almost slipped back in there.
No, it's
hard to transition in and out.
Yeah.
Back home, my husband, he's so mad at me for the accent. I go on, and he's just like, please stop with the fake accent.
Why do you have to do it at home? I get doing it for work, if it's like everybody here. Why do it at home though?
Well, like any theatrical craft, you need to hone it. You need to practice. So
it's like method acting.
Yeah. So I'd sit there with my tea and go, "Oh, wonderful, darling. Have you baked the crumpets today?" And he tells me to shut the fuck up. But it's a good dynamic. It works.
Honestly, no matter what accent you're doing, Janet, your husband shouldn't talk to you like that.
He's Scottish, so that's
totally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think the British thing too gets a little on his nerves.
Honestly, that makes a lot of sense.
He's like, you could have chose any accent.
Yeah.
Why the British? And then I just keep yelling, the British are coming, and he gets upset.
Yeah, you could genuinely get scared, probably.
Theater people are dramatic.
They are. Is he also in the theater?
Yeah, he is.
Oh, wow.
So, great thing about my husband, he has this ability to turn on lights with his mind.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So he'll sit in front of the lighting board, and he'll just think about lighting looks, and it just happens. He doesn't touch a thing.
Wow, he doesn't have to touch any of the switches in front of him. They're
he can
still
change
there.
Light bulbs too,
Wow.
just screwing and unscrewing. You know what I mean?
Hey, I see you winking.
We call him King Screw around the theater.
Well, so I really like that we're delving into you as a person right now, Janet. I always ask our guests this, and you don't have to share if you're not comfortable, but do you have like a superpower or anything?
Oh yeah, it's a little embarrassing.
Oh no.
Oh, this is gonna be juicy.
Well, I wish so I got my superpower when I was in high school, and I was like one of those baby theater kids who was like, oh my God, Shakespeare is the best thing ever.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Turns out dramatic retellings of Shakespeare are the only thing people want to do nowadays, and they don't use the scripts, and Unfortunately, my power is I know the line to every single Shakespeare play ever written.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Every single one.
So, do you know the first line to Romeo and Juliet?
Yeah. Hearken, 'tis yonder sun breaks openly upon the windowsill, casting light upon the furnace, still pumping out steam.
That
Interesting.
sounds real to me. I think I saw it in a park once. But that sounds
that's the only place they do it nowadays.
yeah, it's true. It's
And
true.
as we know about Super City, there's like no parks.
I shit you not, though. I saw it, and a politician came out right before, and I shit you not, said the hackiest thing I've ever heard. He said, "All the world's a stage."
You know what's funny? That's not even a line.
No,
it's not
it's
even
not.
in a single Shakespeare play.
Yeah. This guy was really, and it was mostly kids. It was kids, and then a couple adults, and this conservative politician comes out. And it's like, all the world's a stage, and we are but play. It was bad. It was bad.
Oh yeah. Everybody. It's actually all the world's an intermediate space for performance.
Mm-hmm.
That's the actual line in the play, but everyone's just
Wow.
like cut it down to all the
Yeah.
world's a stage.
Well, Sal and I have explored this on many episodes. Super City has a real aversion to succinct and like snappy
Pithy.
kind of pithy's a great word for it, kind of dialogue and naming of things.
Yeah.
So it just seems like something everybody's averse to. So I try not to force it on people, you know.
You know, you can say what you want, but like as long as you put it's a dramatic retelling, you can rewrite all of Shakespeare if you want.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, but unfortunately for me, I have it all up there in my head, so whenever we put on one of these dramatic retellings and they go to do the casting, I just start saying the lines.
Mhm.
Like,
I've got a question for you, Janet. You know the line to every Shakespeare play, and you can retell any Shakespeare play you want as long as you say it's a dramatic retelling. Is there any famous movies out there that you know are Shakespeare plays in disguise, have just been
Interesting.
dramatically zhuzhed up to copy the bard?
oh yeah, there are so many. I think one of my favorites is The Lion King. That is
Right.
just like total steal of Macbeth.
Wow.
So like
Oh.
I was trying to pitch to them, let's just do the musical The Lion King because we're gonna make way more money off of it, and they're like,
Yeah.
no, dramatic retelling.
Honestly, it's just another way, though. I hate to get political again, but people in Super City do not respect lion actors.
Yeah,
And
no,
it's just like, so you're brave going out there and trying to get a lion show produced, but people just, I want to see it. Sal wants to. We all want to see lion performers.
yeah, but we
I
have
don't
to
know.
acknowledge that society might not be ready for that kind of production yet, especially
I
since like
guess.
when like the other worlds can put on costumes, and in this world, if you put on a lion costume, that's super offensive to the
It's
lion
not great.
people.
Yeah, yeah.
You
Tiger face. I
are-
should say tiger face paint's okay though. You're good, Sal.
Oh,
This
it's
is more of a
actually
celebration.
questionable. Like, there's a bit of pushback. We just did Tony the Tiger one man extravaganza, and
Oh.
we couldn't actually cast a tiger person, so we did.
Wow.
Yeah, it was rough. They were really
Oh.
upset.
Yeah.
We ended up casting a lemur.
A lemur, so not even in the feline scope of
but, like,
animals.
The director was like, "Oh, the body's so lean. It's got the fur. We can just paint it." And,
I mean, let's be real. Let's be real. That lemur was sleeping with the director, right?
it's true.
It's
You know
true.
what? The director's been known for like, a lot of
Mhm.
intimacy with animal. Like that theater has only done animal plays,
That's unfortunate.
and it's
That's
always
unfortunate.
been that lemur.
That...
Wow.
It's a talented lemur, maybe. I don't
mean,
know.
they did A Midsummer Night's Dream. Titania was a lemur.
Wow, dramatic retelling.
Yeah, always a dramatic. Yeah, because I auditioned for Titania as well because I know all the lines.
Of course,
like,
and they were like, too many of the lines.
Yeah, they're like, because I was like, peas blossom, cobweb, over hill, over dale, through bush, through fire, over flood, over pale, through night, through the mire, and they're like, no, we want it more succinct. I walked down the road to get here to this forest, is what they wanted to go with.
I feel like I should clarify something for our listeners, just to because I feel like I can feel that some of our listeners might just be thinking, oh well, Janet here just has a really good memory. But as Sal and I can see, whenever you draw upon your power, a spotlight shines on you.
Oh,
I don't know.
yeah.
I don't know where it's from. I don't know where it's coming from. I keep looking around, but if the lights dim when you start speaking in Shakespearean lines, you are bathed in a spotlight, and it's beautiful.
And I get that criticism a lot. People are like, well, 36 plays,
Mhm.
28 sonnets. That's not a huge thing to memorize. Anyone can do that.
Yeah, totally. I mean, yeah,
Of course. Yeah.
Like, that
Yeah.
seems like a pretty common thing. The thing is, I can't memorize anything else.
Oh,
Oh,
no.
that's
My
rough.
short-term memory is completely gone. Like,
Wow.
I
That's
cannot,
why you just keep referring to him as your husband and not by his name.
I have no fucking clue what his
Right.
name is.
So everything.
It's
So
been
you.
18 years.
So you went through high school. Late high school, you get this power,
Yeah.
and so from that point on, your short-term memory is just.
Just as soon as
Gotcha.
it hit, I was straight A's. I was getting scholarships, and as soon as I got my power, nothing.
Wow. That's honestly, that's kind of a curse. There's like a power and a curse there. You know what I mean?
And I had lots of people say you should go into a PhD in like Shakespeare theory. Problem is, I have to read other books to get those theories.
Yeah, and you
Right.
just can't remember them.
Can't remember a thing. And so that makes it harder to audition for these plays because they're like so close to the lines, but they're like dramatic retelling. You know the lines, but now we need you to not say the lines.
What about this? What if the next time you're auditioning for one, so say it's Othello. Is that
Yeah, Othello? Yeah.
Okay, so you're auditioning for that
Othello
play.
with the famous opening line, here be two men standing upon the threshold of this door.
Bingo. What if you're auditioning for that, but instead, as part of your dramatic retelling, you only use lines from Hamlet?
Oh
Wow.
my God.
Is that something? Do we have something here?
Oh, you just unscrewed my whole life.
Wow, I'm glad. Wow. No one's ever said that. I've gotten the opposite plenty of times, but I've never got, wow.
I've never thought of that. I could say the lines from Two Gentlemen of Verona when auditioning for Hamlet. Then it doesn't matter if like I'm not saying the right lines because it's different, it's new, it's edgy.
It's a dramatic retelling.
A dramatic retelling.
Something. You know what I mean?
A dramatic retelling of Hamlet as seen through the eyes of Two Gentlemen of Verona.
Yeah. Bingo.
Oh, I could do this in a park. I could do this on stage.
You could do this on a rooftop.
Well, and you saw that one theater in the back, right? When
Oh,
you were
yeah.
parking, the
Yes.
small one that has like 22 seats.
Right.
Was it even that many? Yeah.
Yeah,
But they're all
well,
stacked vertically, aren't they?
Yeah, that's push capacity. It's definitely not accessible.
Yeah,
so we're
no.
like,
Yeah.
technically not allowed to use it.
Well, the bottom seat's accessible.
Yeah.
That's everyone's favorite seat. It costs $500 to book that one.
Really?
Yeah.
I guess it's a bit of a climb to that 22nd seat.
Yeah,
Um,
that one's an iffy one. You're
Yeah.
actually up in the grid.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really hot. We have a Fresnel right next to your head there.
So you just immediately get burnt. That's wow. I would love to hear a little bit more about the Rat King Theater. You know, we've been
Oh.
Sal and I. You know, like I said, we work for a paper, we work for a newspaper, and we want to get more people out there seeing shows. You know, so I've loved learning about you as this fully fleshed out performer. You know, and I really like where you're going with this. I wonder if you could tell us a bit more about the theaters that make up the Rat King Theater.
Oh, I would love to. Sorry, one sec. So I believe if you want to know about the
course.
Rat King Theatre,
Mhm.
the most important part is to remember that the Rat King of the Nutcracker fame was a rat who was pieced together by tying the tails of several rats together into a tight knot.
Mhm.
And that rat became the Rat King. Much like that, the bowels of each theater became so entangled as one would burn down and another one would be built on top, one would be forgotten about, another one would be built, one would be turned into a movie theater or into a strip club or into a Denny's, and other ones would have to be built on top and around and underneath. You know, our most famous theater, the Burger King Theater, is actually the one sandwiched between two other theaters.
Really?
Yes.
Oh wow.
The first performance there was a Whopper.
Jeez. Lovely. I heard that there is actually, and I heard this from a friend of a friend of a friend, but I heard there was a secret theater deep underground where only the most prestigious shows are done. It's weird. Maybe prestigious is the right word. It's more like weird experimental stuff goes on down there. Is that true at all?
Okay, I have to ask, where did you hear about that?
I heard so my one friend Sal, this guy here.
Sal.
He has a friend named Glenn, and Glenn has a friend named Buff.
Angus, which is you.
Oh, which is me. And then I also know another guy named Buff, and Buff told me. And then I had told Sal about it. I forgot, and then it got back to me, and I was like, wow, that's exciting.
You need to forget about that theater. You need to forget you ever heard about that theater.
Whoa,
we don't talk about that theater.
Okay.
Well, now I would like to talk about it.
I would really like to. Come on, just like a little bit of a hint or something.
You know Titus Andronicus, right? You know the play
course.
Titus Andronicus? We've all heard of it.
I've definitely heard of it. I don't think I could tell you anything about it.
Well, much like the play Titus Andronicus, the entire end is death. Okay. And that's the only place you're going to end up if you keep talking about this theater.
Okay. Well,
I just like, there's no one else. We're all good here, right?
Yeah,
okay.
Of course. Very few people listen to this show.
Well, you also have to be worried about the ghosts of the theater because...
Oh, of course.
This shit is haunted. There's like 17 theaters here. There's like at least 17 ghosts. Every theater has a ghost.
Sal, you knew the theater was haunted? Is that a common occurrence?
Well, see, part of the problem is that one of the theaters here is an operating theater.
Oh, you're right. Yes. So
there's no surgeons; it's just actors. So a lot of people die on the table.
Yeah, we've had some problems with that one. We've had some health complaints. But this so this secret theater, we call it the dungeon theater.
Okay.
Because surprise, it's in a dungeon.
Yeah.
Not the kind of dungeon you'd think.
Oh, so like spooky torture.
No, not that kind of dungeon.
Oh.
Are there other types of dungeons?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, you've totally seen A Winter's Tale, right?
No.
Shakespeare's famous Winter's Tale?
No, I haven't. Oh, look, I haven't. I think I saw Shakespeare in the park once. And that's it, I think.
Okay. Better reference, Measure for Measure. You know, you can picture Measure for Measure, right?
No, I have no idea what that is either.
Okay, I'm gonna get real easy for you, okay? Like, we're just... The Tempest.
Okay, I have heard of The Tempest.
Okay, this is a good starting place. So there's this big storm in The Tempest, and, like, a bunch of people get shipwrecked, and then, like, a couple people are kept captive. That's this dungeon?
Oh, okay.
Instead of torture, you are forced to perform the plays that people pay to see.
Oh.
Interesting.
And, like, perform them until you die.
Okay, that does sound pretty rough.
Yeah, so we've had people down there, like, unfortunately, you know, my job, I show people to their seats. I have to go down there. We have one guy, Bill Lexington. You might have heard of him. He used to be a theater reviewer here in Super City.
Oh, okay.
Well,
yeah,
actually...
We're actually here because he hasn't been in to work for a long while.
Yes, that makes so much more sense because when they went around the office with the tickets, they were in an envelope for a guy named Bill, and they're like, Bill, we don't have tickets for Bill. Bill's not around. Who wants them? So, oh my God, that's so fascinating.
Yeah, well, you know, he came to see our revised, revamped, and revisited a dramatic retelling of Antony and Cleopatra as seen through the eyes of two fish within a fishbowl.
Wow.
Yeah, that one. Oh, it was controversial.
Look, I'm not gonna lie, as I'm not a theater guy, that went way over my head. I don't even know what to imagine for that. That's fascinating.
And that's the thing, is like, it's a thought piece, it's a brain piece. Well, Bill decided he was going to write a review about it, and he had words. He criticized the fish's acting, which we all know,
Wow.
fish people,
Okay.
touchy people.
Yeah.
He criticized the director for again casting a lemur as the lead fish.
Wow. And that lemur could not swim, I bet.
No. It came close to drowning. Again, we had some
that's
complaints. But anyway, so he published this review, and the powers that be in the theater, they invited him back and took him to one of the secret shows. And now he's performing a dramatic interpretation of Timon of Athens, as set within the underbelly of the whale that swallowed Pinocchio.
Wow. Again,
This is just fascinating.
it is fascinating. It is.
Now, Janet, I imagine that a show performed by those whose lives are on the line has to have one hell of a performance.
Oh, well, see, here's the trick to this whole thing. Every night they're told if they can make the audience cry, they can be let go. They can be set free. So unless they make the audience, not just one person, the whole audience. I mean, to be fair, it only seats like 13 people.
Right.
Yeah.
But those are the richest, the most cold-hearted, the most cutthroat of people that we can get into that room.
Just a whole bunch of sociopathic theater appreciators.
Just a cabal of Super City's worst. Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, it's the super villains, actually.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, that is one word for them. Totally.
Yeah.
Okay. I kind of love this thought experiment. Okay. You're down there. You've been forced to produce a play. You've got to make everyone cry. Which play do you pick?
It's kind of hard for me because I'm so into like the heartbeat of Shakespeare's shows.
Yeah.
Shakespeare. I think for me, it would have to be Henry VI, Part 2.
Part 2.
Part 2. If I was to go with Part 1, it's a little too much Faust. It's a little too much, Brokeback Mountain meets the Terminator. But if I was to go with Henry VI, Part 3, I think that's a little more like Avatar 3, the Fire Moon.
That's right, because we have Avatar 3 in Super City listeners, and it's not bad.
It's actually my favorite.
Yeah, it's pretty fun.
Yeah.
James Cameron delivers.
Yeah, it's just shouldn't
be news to anyone. At this
exactly. Shocker, he made a solid movie.
It makes the first two make sense.
It does.
I was confused, but the third one, everything is revealed. Complete opening. We're actually doing an adaptation of it next week on stage.
Okay, I will definitely be back for that.
Yeah, we call it Avatar: The Remakening.
Ooh, I'm into that. I'm into that.
Yeah.
Wow.
We cover the stage in fire.
yeah. I'm starting to understand why some of the theaters burned down. I wasn't sure if that was a common occurrence. Wow. Okay. Well, I guess I love this idea. Maybe Sal and I will have to come back and do a show here sometime.
In the in the dungeon.
Maybe not the torture
one. I
one
can
where
hook that up for you.
No. I mean more like we do like one of these. We do like a live podcast recording here.
We have a theater for that. It's the one. Yeah, the one that's underneath the one that's fully chair stacked.
Yeah. How many seats does it have?
It has a good 6.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah, but it's our conference center. It's our exclusive to podcast center. We have a lot of people come through with podcasts, and we just want to make them feel welcome. There's no green room. The stage is actually takes 2 elevators and then a flight of stairs to get onto the stage.
Okay.
To get into the theater, it's fine. You just walk through the door. But to get onto the stage, and then throughout the play, that truck that keeps backing up is just that's its home.
That's the
really?
garage.
So it's in the garage. Okay, I see.
Yeah.
So
only podcasters. You'll feel right at home. It's just podcasters.
So the podcaster stage is less of a conference room and more of a loading dock.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, I get you. Hey, honestly, we'll take it.
We put our best sound technicians there.
I was going to ask how the sound was.
Yeah, the sound quality is incredible.
Immaculate. Great.
Impeccable. Well, you heard the truck backup noise today. That was all recorded there.
I heard it clear as day as I backed into my vehicle.
Yes. Wow. Well,
I have one question for you. I just like I need to know where you got this fit, this outfit, this khaki realism. It's just like we have designers here who have like just lost their thread, their hope, and I haven't seen anything that reminded me so much of A Comedy of Errors in my life as this outfit does.
Well, as you know, we here in Super City have access to Walmart, except our Walmart was purchased by a non-profit, so it's actually a Walmart Goodwill. And I go to the bargain rack there and buy all the khaki I can, and I just, clip away and fashion it into whatever I'm feeling like. Today, as you can see, I've made a stitched together vest with my arms exposed.
Yes, I noticed that part stood out like like arms exposed in the theater.
And if you start banging out any kind of arm exercises, I think you'd look really good in it.
Nope, that goes against what I'm going for.
I want to know how you got the spikes so sharp and attached to like so many different places without having arms on your jacket. Like there's spikes that are like around your arms and around your wrists.
Yeah. I was going to ask about those too.
I'm glad you called attention to that. What I've done here, of course, is driven the spikes through my flesh.
Okay. That's. I was afraid that's what that was.
And you know what? The khakis covered in blood is such a unique, like red and khaki, natural colors together, like natural infusion.
My favorite color is burgundy, and you never quite get the perfect burgundy until you get blood on khaki. Like dried blood on khaki is a beautiful shade.
Angus can attest to the fact that this is a bit of a bolder fashion choice for myself. This is something new I'm trying out. But I don't want to put words in your mouths, but I think you're both really liking it.
Oh, you know what? We have a production of Pericles going up next week, and I just know that the designer would love to take a look at this and just take it all in and then not do it.
And then not do it.
Any way I can be of help, once again, I'm here to both take in and give out to the theater.
Sal, maybe you should consider writing an article or a column about fashion.
Yes.
Yes,
so,
okay, you consider it.
I have to ask too, like, you guys are going to write like an actual review of the play, right? You're not just going to like post this podcast and never talk about it in the newspaper?
Oh, no, we'll do both. We'll do both.
Okay, great.
Yeah. Like, we're definitely better podcasters than we are journalists. I mean, written journalists, but
We've almost figured out how to submit a column.
Yes, it is tougher than you'd expect.
Well, it's very important for artists to have pull quotes from newspapers, so we got to be able... Do you have, like, any, like, one-line statements about the play that we can just pull and put on our poster?
Yeah. So how about this? Angus from the Daily Deposit says, wow, that really was a refrigerator.
Oh, that one's great. Like, but, like, can we just omit the refrigerator? Because that's kind of a...
Oh, it's a spoiler?
That's a spoiler.
My apologies.
I've got one.
Yeah, go ahead.
Mac, both of us couldn't help but find this show fresh.
Yeah. There's definitely something there.
Yeah. You know what? Yeah.
Okay, what about this? Get out of my damn spot, because I'm going to see it again.
I did not know that you knew the most famous line from Macbeth.
I've seen it. I saw the movie of it. Yeah, totally.
The movie of it starring
Denzel Washington.
Right, that was one of my favorites.
It was fun. Yeah, it was good.
Oh, great! Those are great quotes. We're gonna take them. I also make the posters for the theater.
Oh, very nice.
As well as taking people to their seats and running the concession, and I also do the bookkeeping.
Wow, you really do a lot.
I also directed the show, but like I don't want to.
Wait. So you did direct the show. Okay,
well, in theater you have to wear many hats.
Yes, and you have a ton of hats on. We didn't even talk about that. You're wearing a tower of hats right now.
Oh, darling, that's showbiz. Sometimes you have to wear a hat or two to get your point across.
God, well, I wish we found out this director thing earlier because we've actually run out of time.
Oh, but I wanted to talk about my mission statement for the theater.
Sorry, nope.
So sorry. I'm so sorry. The podcast is done. Sal and I, we got to go. Our parking's almost up. So that's going to do it for us here at Heroes Don't Do Paperwork. If you're listening at home, remember, try to do the right thing. Hey everybody, Angus here. As always, Sal Bedfellow was played by Matthew Wally. Catherine Abernathy Quill was played by Patrice-Ann Forbes. Patrice is an improviser and improv show producer in Ottawa. Patrice is actually producing a show in Ottawa called Orthus. It's March 24th and 25th at Arts Court, downtown Ottawa. A lot of people from the Podcavern Network, like myself, Tung La, Leslie Cherapy, people like that will be in the show, so you should definitely come check it out. There'll be a link for tickets in the episode description. If you want to support the show or any of the other shows at the Podcavern Network, head on over to podcavern.com and check out our merch store. We've got lots of cool hats, hoodies, t-shirts, stuff like that. Anything you buy there helps us keep the lights on here. Thanks for listening.